It is the Toasted Frog Guest of the Week. We have many of them here. We've got the boss man, Eric Schmidt, head coach here at Fall Camp. Biggest surprise out of your team that you've seen so far?
Coming out of the gates hot there, huh?
Yeah.
I think the maturity level, you always, I think, find out during this time of year, it's football all day. So
Yeah.
who are the guys that truly love it, that, good rep, bad rep, good practice, bad practice, that just keep showing up the next day,
Yeah.
keep battling through those things. I think that we talk a lot about that with our culture here, that, hey, you're either winning or you're learning, and we don't expect it to be perfect. There's something dangerous about somebody who just keeps coming back and attacking, and I think that's the type of people we want in our locker room. Those are the type of teams that are type of team that we want to be too as well. So I think just that maturity level, embracing, that part of our culture that, hey, when you train on the edges, when you go hard, there's going to be mistakes made, and we can correct those things when we get into film and that kind of stuff. And that's why I always say that's why they put coach before your name. It's your job to go in there and correct those guys. So really like the maturity level, just the approach, how guys are understanding this is not a sprint. It's a marathon to get better.
Yeah, and I was just watching a former NFL player. They were asking him, what makes a junkyard dog? You might beat me on the next play, but I want to get up on that line and let's go again, because that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at all the best competitors in history, right? Like, it's not like, the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woodses of the world. It's not like that he won every golf tournament, but if you beat him, you better be ready the next week, because he was going to be ready, and and make sure that he didn't beat himself again. So that's the type of individuals we want. Like, it's competitive spirit. It's going out there and just relentless pursuit of continuous improvement. That's what we talk about here, and that's the type of attitude and the type of mantra we want our guys to to exude when they're practicing, when they're in meetings, when they're doing anything that's related in their life that's important to them. Like, it's constantly trying to improve.
One thing I can tell that you've installed, with a mentality, number one, but there aren't a whole lot of guys standing around in street clothes. Okay. I mean, Anthony Davis, street clothes, right? I make the joke, well, he's always hurt, or, the nag, you brought it up earlier, the nagging injuries. You can't tell me they're not there, but they're in pads and they're out there and they're practicing and they're just gutting it through it because they love football. You can tell. I looked around and I only saw a couple guys. I mean, we're 9 days away, Tank, from the opener, which is now's the time where, they'll start to circle around a little bit. Yeah, because the game's getting closer, but they're hurting. They're hurting right now, and there weren't a lot of guys. So I think the mentality's kind of been instilled.
Well, I think, I used the word the other day, devastators. Like, we have a lot of devastators on our team. And what I mean by that is, if you took football away from them, they would be devastated. I think some people, they like football, but other people like what football can do for them. Hey man, it can pay for my scholarship. It can pay for school. It can pay for my rent. Like, those guys, a lot of times, those are the guys who end up, sitting when there's something nagging or something like that. Like, they find a way out of a practice. I don't see that with our guys. I think they love the competition. They love just, playing the sport of football, being out on the field. Like, it's the best part of their day. And I think the great players, man, you have to get lost in the monotony. It's not going to be a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Every single day, like, you're doing a lot of the same type of repetitions. And the guys, once again, you mentioned the word junkyard dog. I think the guys who have that type of mentality, who, hey, I'm going to run this route right for the 18th straight day in a row. Like, that's the type of detail and polish that you want to have as a player. So we really challenge our guys that, all those little things, and just the way we try to take care of them with, all the nutrition, the sports science stuff. Like, I just say all the time, like, soft tissue injuries, they should not live in our football program. Like, if you take care of yourself and follow the protocols, and, I get it. This is a collision sport. There's going to be, shoulders and broken bones, and there's blunt force trauma, but all those other things, man, like, this should not happen if you're doing, what the program calls you to do, and just following, the path and the plan that we have for you. And I think that's been really, really, game changing for us. I just think the guys feel better. They're eating better. They come to practice. They have energy. They have, the ability to go out there and change their best every single day. And I think just, when you feel that way, you're more apt to be able to get through some of those day-to-day injury type stuff.
And this team, just as an outsider that's been up here a couple times now, a lot can happen with chemistry, right? When the team likes hanging out with each other. Do you feel that here? Like it just, a lot of good things can happen out of that, right?
Yeah. No, I try to meet with 3 or 4 guys every single morning. Those are the type of things that I talk about with them. Like I want to know, like, hey, where can I help you? Like what obstacles do you have in your life? What can we do to make sure that you're, going to be your very best when it comes to school and football? And then, where are the blind spots? Like what don't I see? Cause I'm around them, we're around them a lot, but we're still not in the locker room with them. We're not hanging around at their apartments and their houses and stuff like that. So, just, really want to get to know, do guys truly get along? It's one thing to be, you got to be a good friend to people and help them that way, but you also got to be a good teammate. And I think that's the thing that I like. There's a lot of, when I say maturity on our team, there's a lot of guys who will have the guts to be able to call each other out, and be able to say, hey man, like that's not the standard that we're looking for, whether that's on the field or off the field. And, I think once you start having that, where it's that to me is what we talk about being player led. Like if we're going to get to where we want to get to, it is not going to be coach led. It's going to be player led. It's going to be those guys holding each other accountable.
Hey, transitioning to you personally, after your first year as head coach NDC, which is a lot to take on. What did you learn, or is there anything that popped out at the end that said, hey, I'm going to do this differently next year, or was it what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was pretty much what I thought. Obviously, I know I'm calling it on defense, but we have 3 or 4 assistants on that side of the ball who could all, I think, have the ability to be able to call it too as well. So I think just, not having to necessarily be right over on top of those guys, in between series, is making sure that the game management piece, doesn't fall on the wayside. We use some tools with analytics and stuff like that I think really help us, be able to manage the games. There's definitely some things that we could have did better. I look back to the Montana situation, just end of half there. We actually had the officials in here the other day and just talking, about that, hey, it could have been a spike situation. I actually saw the ball snapped. I remember looking at the clock just to make sure that there was 1 second left. Then all of a sudden look back and Jerry didn't feel like he could spike the ball, in those situations. So, just making sure that, we're doing a great job of coaching our guys through all those, different scenarios. I think that's the biggest thing. It's a lot easier in the first and the third quarter, but end of the second quarter, at halftime and end of the game, like you want to make sure you're super sharp in those, in those situations in that part of the game to make sure you're giving your team the best opportunity to win.
Let's talk about your defense a little bit. New faces, it's part of the game, but not only true freshmen and redshirt freshmen that have been here, but new guys. Who are some names that we're not familiar with, possibly, that have really been shining here?
Yeah. I mean, there's, I think, a number of the guys up front. That's where we feel like right now the strength of our defense is. Everybody knows the Caden Viggs and the Lance Ruckers of the world, and having those guys come back is really important. I think just the attitude and the effort and the energy that they bring every single day, like they're starving to go back out and prove that they can, do what they did last year and be even better. I think interior-wise, you're going to see a lot of different guys there. Logan Eckhart's back, but I think after him, it's a bunch of new people. Kylan Macklin, I think, is a guy who continues to learn, but has the tools. I mean, I'm really impressed with his twitch, how he strikes people. I think he's hard to keep blocked for a long period of time. I think that's the thing I like really about him. I think, the 2 Beaver brothers, Isaac and Mason, have really been really consistent. They're strong. They're really good in the run game. Same thing. There's a learning curve, I think, here. Fall camp can be a lot for guys. They're playing with a lot of different guys. I think when they play with the guys who, have been there, done it, they seem to be able to get lined up and play fast and play better when they're, maybe with some guys who are still learning it. It kind of reflects on them too as well. Kifa Pereira is another guy in there that's kind of in the same boat. Wyatt Kuhn, who's a North Dakota kid who we think is kind of in that 6 or 7 range. So that whole room has, been transformed from where it was before. And we think just the size, the twitch of that room is an improvement. Not to say, hey, Montre was a really good player, but just the depth and how many of those guys we have. And then even on our edges, I think Braden Moore is moving now than he ever has. And then we think we think Brody Thornton can be really good. Like he can be maybe the next, in line over there after Rutgers done here to take kind of the torch there and move with it. So those would be the guys I think up front. Secondary's a work in progress yet. We got a lot of work there yet to do. Still want to make sure that, those guys got to understand that, hey, their job's to be able to tackle, get guys on the ground, be really good communicators. And we're going to ask them to cover man-to-man at times too. And they got to be able to hold up and do those things. So that's by committee right now. A lot of new names and faces in there, but probably won't mention many of them until they, get out there and really, start doing what we're asking them to do consistently. And then linebacker, I think Mike Devereaux and Ethan Bowles is going to be. Mike Devereaux's the leader for sure in that room. Ethan Bowles has come a long way. I like his development right now. He's one of maybe a little bit more traditional path to the starting lineup. A lot of guys nowadays, if they don't play or start within the first 18 months that they're here, it's hard to keep them around. Well, he's been, redshirted special teams, and now has waited his turn until he's, 21 years old here. And now he's going to finally be able to start. So you love those stories. Obviously a local kid here too as well. Behind him, we think Jake Starcevic is taking some steps here, especially in the last probably 3 or 4 days. He's it started to look different out there, watching him out there. So I think he's got a toughness, he's got a confidence about him. So he's going to be a guy that we're definitely going to count on. And then Nate Applegate and Mason Miller after that. I think those are kind of our core 5 guys, in there. Not to say there's not some other guys that'll be there. You'll probably recognize them more on special teams, but those would be the guys now that we're kind of getting prepared and ready to go for Long Island.
And then when you see that, do you see guys like, ooh, if they keep this, maybe by mid-season they'll be ready?
No question.
A lot of that out there right now.
Yeah, I think there's, especially with guys who are going through it for the first or the second time, like it's not fair to them right now to we're not penciling anybody out. We haven't played a game yet with injuries and performances and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of real competition out there. So I think, we gotta, once again, it's roster protection. I think that's what you have to be able to develop guys so that, hey, if somebody goes down, that, hey, the next guy's ready to go. And it can't get to a point where you get so far down, into some of these guys who they're not ready. You haven't, prepped them to be ready. Like, we want to be 4 to 5 to 6 deep at every one of those spots and feel good about, hey, maybe this he's not playing right now, but he's capable. It might be because of, age, or it might be because of, amount of reps that you get in practice and that kind of stuff. But if he gets his opportunity, we feel strongly that they can go out there and do their jobs.
Yeah, moving forward here, the Long Island Sharks, what do you know? Like I admittedly, that league doesn't put out much. Okay, I was on Google a lot, and I like to think I can find highlights, but they're hard to find for them. A lot of QB run game, 4 down defense. What are you seeing in your initial preview here? Because you got with a Thursday game next week, you must be starting this week already with game prep.
Yeah, tomorrow will be the official end of fall camp for us, and then we'll get into LIU after that. So, I think a few things that stood out right away, I think, is just, offensively, the quarterback run game, super talented at quarterback, and played 3 QBs last year, and all of those guys had explosive plays. If you look at their schedule, I think the one thing that stands out is, hey, going to Eastern Michigan, going to an FBS opponent and winning a football game and really dominating it. I don't know how many explosives they had on offense that game, but it was a lot. A number of big plays, ran the football, I think, for almost 300 yards. So I think that stands out right away. I think defensively, just how hard they play, gaps out. A lot of one high defense. They'll play a little bit of quarters. They'll pressure at times, but even in the big games they played last year, they got like Florida and Eastern Michigan. Like, hey, this is our identity. This is who we are. That's who where we're going to hang our hat. I think guys that know their jobs. Simon Sharp. A team I think that's picked either 1, 2, or 3 in their league. So it's a good test for our guys here early in the season. I think once we get to that point, they'll definitely have our attention. There's enough good film and good players. I mean, their quarterbacks will make people miss in space. In fact, to the point where they took one of those guys now and talked about moving him to running back, from last year. So I've been really impressed with just who they are offensively. They'll challenge you in the run game, as far as running all the fly sweep, jet sweep, all those types of things, and then a lot of different misdirection up front. So we'll have to do a good job there of making sure that we fit up. It's option football, that we fit up and do our jobs and our responsibilities on that side of the ball. And then just offensively, I think the biggest thing is early in the season being clean. Not beating yourself, going out there and taking care of the football, not getting penalties, just little things like that. I think if we can do that, we got a chance to be much improved on that side of the ball.
What do you want to see out of this team before you take the field week one? Like what's something that really stands out?
Yeah, I think it's just like I talked about before. It's the maturity. I want to continue to see us, prepare like a mature football team does, and obviously. I think there's a certain amount of tenacity. There's a certain amount of, energy, effort, focus that needs to go into every day. Casualness doesn't work in football, just kind of being laid back and chill and, whatever words that, guys want to use like that. That doesn't work from 9:30 to 11:30 every morning. Like you got to be on it. You got to be competitive. I said it in the press conference the other day, but we have a saying around here that practice is about performance. The games are for learning. Like, we give our guys a ton of feedback, in practice and the old, you gotta see me in games in order to see if I'm good. Like that doesn't work. You gotta see me in practice and be able to do it. And then we'll put you in games.
Practice
is how we're doing it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So those guys, that went out the window after, Kelly Howe got left here,
Hey,
but
Saturday.
Yeah. But no, honestly, I think that's what we want to see. I mean, and it's everybody in our building. I said the thing the other day, like it's AD, president, all the way down to whoever. Yep. It's our campus against your campus every single Saturday. That's how you got to look at it. And everybody needs to do their job in order for us to be able to be successful. And I want to see that. I want to see guys having pride in what they're doing every single day.
And I saw it. I talked to one of your drone operators today. You couldn't find a more proud guy. And he's a student here. Yep. Getting training for his education. It's amazing what you're doing here. You have the whole campus involved.
Well, I think you want to get on those teams and you want to talk about what the difference is. Like that drone operator feels like, hey man, if I don't do my job today, then we're not going to win football games on Saturdays. And everybody, I think we call it the family business for a reason. It's like, hey man, we need you to compete at your best when the family needs you the most. And I think that's the mentality we have. And it's about the players, like I said, I say that all the time, but I mean, it's about pouring into those guys and making sure you're giving those guys the absolute best opportunity to be successful, because this is a short time of your life, but you're going to remember it for the rest of your life, leaving here. So just taking advantage of that. Like, time's not your friend. You got to go out there and make sure you take advantage of every single day. So that's what we want to continue to see here, goods, bads, whatever it is, man, just showing up every day and keep putting in real work. Cause we do that. I think we got we got the ability to be able to, definitely make some noise here and have some talent in the locker room to be able to go out and win football games.
We better get him to Wilkerson. The lunch crew just texted me and said, is Coach Schmidt coming? We made extra because you're a good eater, aren't you?
Yeah, that's never been a problem, man.
Well. So, All right. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here.
On location, it is our Toasted Frog guest of the week. We have offensive coordinator Danny Freund with us. Second time around, we've said that. You got a few weeks under your belt, fall camp. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, the guys have been working hard all summer. I mean, all spring. We feel good about our offense, feel good about our team. Now it's just a matter of getting to game week here and getting the prep in and putting a good product on the field next Thursday night. But it's been a good camp. Guys have been battling. We've been pretty physical with them. I think getting them ready for the season, and our guys are they've responded well, and we've stayed healthy, and it's been good give and take going against Coach Schmidt in the defense. So I think we're ready for a great year.
You're back. You've been here a number of years. Everyone saw the offense prior. We've actually got, I believe we asked you about this before, but now that you're in camp, okay, how does this version of a Danny Freund offense differ from what the fans saw 5 years ago when you were here, whatever? Do you feel like, has it evolved your play calling style or your formations that you like now or anything? Or is it just, has it been a mixture along the way and you're going to roll whatever you feel You just run.
I mean, I think it's a combination of what your team looks like as far as your players and their skill sets. I think, what does the quarterback do well? How is your offensive line? What are those guys' strengths? And then figuring out who the skill guys are that you want to get the ball to. At the same time, I think like we want to be an offense that attacks, right? What do we mean by that? Like we want to spread the field horizontally and vertically, right? And make the defense defend, every part of the field, whether that's throwing RPOs out to the perimeter, whether that's taking shots. I think the best offenses are able to, kind of dictate to the defense how they want to play. So yeah, there's some things that I think we picked up along the way the last couple of years, and you try to apply those to your current players, but hopefully it's an exciting brand of football. We want to be explosive on offense, creating big plays, and we want to, be unpredictable how we call it too. I think that's changing tempos, changing personnels, using a lot of motion to run a lot of the same plays, just a lot of different ways, so our guys can play fast. But yeah, ultimately it's a deal where we want to score touchdowns and call the right plays, call the plays that work. That's when you're good, right?
Yeah, the fans know, they can tell when the plays that you called work.
Yeah,
those that keep calling those. You hear a lot of that.
No doubt.
What part of the game dictates it where you're like, okay, let's try something early and a shot, or you know what, we need to try and get 12, 15 play drive here. How do you know?
Yeah, I think
especially early in a game.
I think like early in a game, there's kind of an art to I think setting some things up and also like making the defense think a little bit early. You come out and you just like run the ball at them a couple times. They kind of get settled in and you kind of aren't. I think just like there's some things you can do with the quarterback to get him settled in early. There's some things I think getting the defensive line on the other team to have to run and think a little bit and kind of wear them out before you run the ball up the middle. I think just keeping them guessing. But yeah, early in the game, I think it's changing formations, obviously changing different types of play calls just to see how they're going to line up to stuff, see how they're going to play you. But ultimately, it kind of comes down to what your guys are good at and what they've repped throughout the week and what they're confident in, and just getting a good feel throughout the week what plays your guys, are super confident in. And I think no matter what they see on the defensive side, if they're confident and they have belief in what you're doing and what you're calling, they're going to make those plays work.
So what I got out of that is if you're one of those fans that you're yelling, why do we even have Danny Freund on the payroll? Does he know anything about football? You might be setting things up for later in the game, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
on third.
And you never hear that.
You mean on 3rd and 10 when you're on inside zone? Oh, come on. Well, where are we at on the field? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. That's a good one to bring up because 3rd down and 10, you might be setting up a 4th down call. You might be going for it on 4th, or you might be
trying to catch them.
You check a play and they have a light box and they're trying to blitz you on 3rd and 10, and maybe an inside zone is your best chance to gash them, right? And run that play. So there's always things that go into it, but it comes down to results, right? If it works and you get the results, you're good, right? And there's going to be times that you don't call the right play or the guys don't execute, and it's not going to work. And that's the position that we're in as play callers, especially the OC. That's any level of football, man. You go watch a peewee football game, it's the same thing. You got parents getting upset. So it's just people are passionate about sports, and we appreciate that. And hopefully we can give the fans obviously a lot more of what they want this year, and have a great season.
One thing I've noticed, it's kind of the rage. I don't know if you call it the rage, but those 3rd and long situations I talked about, trying to run it. I noticed that more the last few years, guys. Maybe it's because of light boxes, however the defense is set up, but they also just hand it off and they'll get 9 or they'll maybe get the 10. And it's like 10 years ago, you didn't see that. Okay, they were throwing and they're going for the 10 yards through the air, like, conventional. And so it's interesting you brought that up, but QB run game. How vital is that to your offense this year? Actually running Jerry. Dedicated runs, not him scrambling. It's
an important part of it. Obviously, you got to be smart with how much he takes hits. Naturally, there's going to be some QB scrambles in there that are going to be runs where he's going to get hit and some things like that. But where I really think you can utilize the quarterback in the run game is like 3rd down and also in the red zone to add a hat, and just being smart with it. But we have to be able to run the quarterback, I think, when you have the guys that have that skill set. And I think in today's age of college football and just any level of football, even the NFL, those guys got to be able to run and move to escape pressure, but also be able to pick up pick up yardage and move the sticks. I think it's a huge advantage when you have a quarterback that's mobile. And if you ask defensive coaches, they worry about that. And I think you can have a great call on defense. They're covered up, like the quarterback gets away and scrambles for a first down. So yeah, we'll utilize certain things, whether it's, gap scheme or zone reads or whatnot. And we're also going to try to move the pocket a little bit, which might create more opportunities for him to move and scramble.
Okay.
But yes, I think that'll be a part of what we do.
Question on social media. Are we only going to see one quarterback?
Yeah, hopefully we're only going to see one quarterback, and then potentially in scenarios we feel really good about Javance as our backup and his skill set. So we will have certain packages in certain situations where, he can come in, but there's also a balance to it too. If obviously, Jerry's playing really good football and he's in a rhythm, I think you got to keep your starter out there and go from there. But the way we've used Quincy in the past, I think there's some similarities between Javance and him. Whether it's short yardage and certain stuff. And then he's also a very athletic kid. Maybe you get two quarterbacks out there and mess with the defense.
Not you.
No, yeah, we had one at Ole Miss last year. We scored on our first touchdown of the game when we were at Ole Miss. We had a little 2 quarterback deal, but those are always fun. But I think the cool part is you have 2 guys you feel really good about that can do that and would are good enough to be able to install those plays and rep them, and the skill sets are there.
It's a good spot to be in.
Mm-hmm.
This fall, are you going to be up in the booth or on the sideline?
I'll be on the sideline. Yeah, we'll be on the
sideline.
Yeah.
Now, when you were here, you were up in the booth.
Yeah.
South Dakota State, their time, I think you were up there with that. What leads you to the sideline now?
I did it in the bowl game last year when we played Utah State, and that was the first time I had called plays from the sideline. Previously, I'd been up in the box for every other game that we'd call plays, but it was fun to be on the field, obviously to just have the emotion of the guys and be able to be around them. But I think a big part of it was just communication with the quarterback and just being able to talk through things on the sideline, like face to face, kind of read the emotion and just kind of see where they're at. And also, I think there's some calls where it's like one or the other, on your sheet, like third and medium. It's like, hey man, do you like this play or this play? Or, fourth and short. Hey, do you like this naked play or do you like, so like, and you can tell a confidence right away. It's like, hey, I want to run that one, coach. So it's like, all right, we're going to run that one. So I think there's some things that are an advantage. There's also some things, you'd like to be up in the box because it's a little more calm and you can get your thoughts together and you can see it from a little bit better vantage point. Okay. But with the staff that we have and the guys up there just communicating, I think is really good. Just what they see. And then also the iPads, we have the video, the last couple of years, being able to watch, the previous plays on the iPad with the guys on the bench.
What do you need from the guys up? If you're going to be on the field, what do you need from them upstairs?
Just like coverage pictures, blitz stuff. What are they seeing, right? As far as, man or zone or just kind of, hey, what was that look? Was that a pressure? How did this look?
More of a review.
Yeah, just kind of like, hey.
Not in the moment talking, more of a review after.
More of like after the fact.
Okay,
correct.
I got you.
Like, hey, how are we going to handle this next series if they give us this pressure? Or what are they doing on third down? Like, how are they playing it? Just to kind of have that dialogue. And then, obviously you can see it, but they can see it pretty quickly.
How do you handle that, like, in game? Is Jerry probably the quarterback that you guys want to be talking the whole time, or coach, get out of here, we got it, just go do your thing? Or is there a give and take on the sideline sometimes that you can be there too much with the guys?
Yeah, for sure. I think you kind of let them come to the sideline regardless of the drive and just kind of, they go hang out. We watch the tape a little bit and then you maybe have a couple reminders for them, but man, you can overcoach these guys, man, and just give them too much information. And then they're not playing fast and they're thinking too much. Right. So and I was like that as a player. I think there's some element of, hey, we've done the preparation throughout the week. You've been in here Sunday through Friday. Game day is for the players to go out and perform. And then also for us to be able to give them coaching points and put them in the right spots. But, there's definitely a balance to that, I would say.
Well, I think he needs to get to eat.
Yeah.
We were holding them past this time. I think they got meetings and need to get going.
For lunch today?
I've been going with the tilapia over at Wilkerson.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, some fish, staying healthy, but I always get the ice cream, and it's good to be back at Wilkerson. They've done a good job with the The whole campus, the dining centers are great.
The menu changed since you were a student here, or it's a lot of similar
There's
things?
more
or-
variety, but the chicken strips of fire are still on there. So, like, you
base.
see those chicken strips of fire over there every day. So that's always a good dish.
Last thing, what do you need to see from your offense before week 1 here in fall camp? What do you need to see more
Yeah,
of?
I think it's just the preparation of, taking this really seriously the next 9 days to go out and play our best football. We've had a good camp up to this point. You feel confident in who you are, but you only get 12 opportunities. So it doesn't matter if it's Nebraska week 1 or whoever. It's like we get an opportunity to go play. So just having that hunger and that edge to us as we prepare to go out and play a physical, like really clean game and just let the guys go have fun. So I just think the preparation is the biggest part of continuing to try to go 1-0 every day and really attack everything that we do. And I know that's coach speak, but it's really true. I think this group is really embraced that. And I think we're all excited as coaches and as fans to go watch these guys do their thing this fall.
All right. Best of luck to you, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thanks, Coach.
Yep.
It is our Toasted Frog guest of the week as UND Football 360 continues our podcast live from, not live, but I guess this is live. We're live right here.
The setup is second to
I'm
none.
an old radio guy, so yeah, we didn't tape anything. But we got one of the big guys here with us, Kelly, and I'm a small guy, but you make me look small. And out of Omaha, Nebraska, Trace Thaden. And first of all, there's probably, you guys probably take one game at a time, but there's probably a game on the calendar you're looking forward to in September.
Yep.
You can have a lot of family at that game.
Absolutely. The tailgate, about a quarter of that parking lot's going to be family and friends, probably.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. Well, as soon as I saw that, we knew we were going to talk to you. It's like back in the day, because I remember when they recruited you were a tight end.
Yeah.
So you're tall tight end, but was there any vision from Nebraska or anybody like, hey, we can turn you into a tackle, or any of the other FCS schools, or were they all telling you, were you being recruited as a tight end and it just kind of came to fruition here?
So I was being recruited at 3 different positions. So
Okay.
I was going on visits to Nebraska for tight end.
Oh.
And then I went to the Iowa camp and they told me that I could walk on and play D-line if I wanted to do that.
Okay.
And then South Dakota State was the first school that wanted me to play O-line. Their old O-line coach, Jason Eck, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He
Okay.
gave me his card and he goes, if you want to eat a bunch of food, he goes, you give me a call. And then he left and went to
Interesting pitch.
a
Yeah.
different school right after that. So I was
Yeah.
getting, a couple different positions right out of there.
Oh, okay.
So graduation, high school diploma, you weigh how much? And you weigh how much now?
So after football season, I was probably 215. And then I quit track my senior year and I went to the gym every day and I showed up here at 230.
230.
Okay.
So I was 230 when I got here and I'm 305 right now.
305.
305. So 6'7", 305.
Yep.
Is that where you want to be? Is that the ideal weight? I mean, I know now you guys kind of have that dialed in with Coach Stein. And is that the weight that you've all come to an agreement that's where you play best?
Yeah, that'll be my weight to maintain and play at for the season. That's what I move at the best, and that's what I'll.
Can you keep
Yeah, right
can you
now.
keep 305 during the year in the heat of it? I mean, you're going and you're getting stressed out, school's going on, whatever. You can keep 305, not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can keep 305.
Is it hard to, or should I say, keep it down to 305? Is it going? Would it go north or would it go south?
My metabolism is insanely high. So
Oh,
I'm,
okay.
I'm fighting to stay up
Okay.
all the time. I'm eating 5,000 plus calories.
So how did you do it? How did you put on? I mean, obviously the weight room and food, but there's a way to do it, right? There's a correct way to do it.
There's a correct way to do it. I mean, some people are, hey, you got to get up and wait. And some guys are just going to go eat a bunch of junk food. And it's going to be like the most calorie dense stuff is some of that junkier stuff. So it's going to be more gut and not a lot of legs with it. So, I mean, I probably went a little bit slower than some other guys did, but I was just told that I should do it the right way. And
Bigger
not,
portions then, or like how do you do it?
I mean, those big meals are big, but it's still not enough food. It'll be snacks throughout the day, all the time.
Never letting your metabolism burn.
Yeah.
Is that kind of keeping something in your stomach?
Yeah, you just got to keep eating all the time.
The Tank, we're at the age now where it's like that. It's the opposite. It's an issue.
9-man football at 135 pounds. I was a nose guard, but probably by April of the next year after graduation, I was pushing 200, and I didn't put on weight the right way. Take us through like this time of year when you guys are in fall camp. What is a daily intake of food like for you?
A daily, I get here in the morning and I'm eating some cereal for breakfast after I weigh in and stuff with Coach Stein and them. And then just water and Powerade before practice. And then after practice, head over to the Wilkerson over there and eat, I don't know.
Quite a bit.
4 or 5, just ton of food. 4 plates, 5 plates of food. And
so are you starving right now? Because you haven't ate yet.
No, I haven't. No, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. Yeah.
And we're holding him up here as he still needs a shower.
So
he still
it'd
needs
be like chickens and pastas,
whatever they got for the day over there. Yeah,
you can pretty much take whatever you want in that meal.
Some double cheeseburgers. They got those
really
good stuff over there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're 230 here, is it the same way, or do they say no, eat this, this, and this?
I mean, we still go over to Wilkie. It's the same pasta and chicken and different types of whatever they have for the day, kind of. But I mean, I wasn't like actively trying to gain a ton of weight when I first got here. I was just playing tight end.
Well,
if we're going out for chicken wings after this, like you're really hungry right now, what are you starting with? Like 24?
I'm gonna go to varsity. And I'm gonna get I think it's 20. I'm gonna get 20 of them.
20 wings.
20 of them and fries.
What sauce?
What fries? They're
the buffalo,
the bourbon barbecue.
Oh, bourbon barbecue. Change it up a little bit.
So 24 wings and fries. Are you pretty full after that, or?
Oh yeah, that's good. Actually, we've gone. Lyman go up to Sam Hagen's place up there in Fordville.
Okay.
At one of the bars, they got their Wing Wednesday, and you can go 30 wings. So you can go hammer that. I've hit 30 a couple times.
Oh,
up there for that. That's a pretty. You'll be full after that.
It's a lot of chicken.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk football.
Yeah.
How do you feel coming in to the season, individually and as a unit?
Individually, good. I'm stronger and fast as I've ever been. Being heavy, and I'm just so excited to play this year.
Feet moving well, as good as they've ever moved.
Yep.
This is the best you've felt going into a football season.
Yes, this is the most solid and solidified I've felt. And as a team, I mean, we got as a group, as O-linemen, we got a bunch of guys back, and I'm so excited to play with those guys. And we got Jerry back behind us, and we got receivers, we got D-linemen, we got everybody.
This is we've said this. This is the best roster we've seen. I mean, you've been here a number of years. You've seen a lot of rosters too, and this is about as good as it's been, and it's only going to get better. Speaking of the roster,
on the summer, you see Jerry out working with the receivers, right? Building that. What do you guys do on your own as an offensive line? Like,
y'all push
each other around, if you're going to come work out a little bit, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, after our lifts in the summers, we'll come in here usually and stay out of the sun, and either a run focused type of day or a pass focused type of day, and get steps and get feels. And we just have, we don't have pads, so we just have bags and stuff. Just stay in rhythm. And
do you help lead that then as a kind of the senior, the upperclassmen?
Older guys, And I mean, some guys work, so some guys come back later. So it's kind of staggered with who's there right away, and then some people come back later in the afternoon. But everybody's always getting some type of extra work in. So, and we're trying to bring all those young guys with us. So
speaking of the roster, how special is it to get to play with your brother? I mean, I think some people know, but I don't know if everybody knows that your brother's up here, and what size is he now? Because he's coming up. Is he catching you, or where?
Dude's like I think he's about 295 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's.
What year is he?
This is his third year. He's 2 years. He's 2 years younger than me. So
okay.
He's got this one, and then 2 more.
Okay. Is he 6'7" too?
No,
Same height,
he's about 6'5".
Oh, 6'5".
He's
Okay.
just a little bit shorter
Only
than me.
6'5". Jeez.
Only 6'5".
we're diminishing it here. Yeah. Oh, he's only 6'5".
He's tall guy.
No, he's big. Yeah, I
throws
know
around
he's
a
a
lot of
big
weight.
kid. So he'll be a tackle. That.
He's playing guard right
Oh,
now.
he got him down at guard. I
Mhm.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Left guard.
Is that better suited for him? Just wherever they need him type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
He's
going to
played-
start.
yeah, he's played both.
We're going to start game week right here pretty soon. That just must have to excite you, huh?
We're so excited. We're so
Like,
excited. That's all we
yeah.
can. It's all we can talk
Is it
about. It's
hard-
one practice at a time. But you're like, yeah, let's get all this film on. We got to start watching our film now, and we're ready to get to get prepped and play our first game.
'Cause what is now? I mean, I remember camps where they were run differently, but what is the hardest part of fall camp now?
That hardest part of camp is that middle block, and then honestly, probably
Right.
mentally, it's probably this last block, because you just got to take it one practice at a time, because you can't jump ahead to game week yet. We still got a
Right.
couple more to get better. And
Because how does the
prepped.
practice vary? Like what we saw today, and then next week when you're day 3 of the prep.
it'll be, when we start prepping, it'll be more scout teams. Like, it won't be so like we'll be going against like 1D line or that. Like, we'll split up to our sides of the field and start getting our cards ready and our looks, and really like start tuning into what their defense runs.
Speaking of the 1D line, I had it in my notes here. That can only help you going against those guys, because this is the best version I've ever seen at UND, with just the depth and the size, and they got all kinds of body types, and obviously Rucker and Vig coming off the edge at you. You're going against those guys. That can only make you better, right?
It only helps. It shows you what you got to work on, and you show them what they got to work on. If we sit and talk about it in the locker room after practice, like what they see us doing, like if we're opening up a little too far or something with our hands, and we're talking to them with if they're selling their move enough or something like that. But it's amazing going against them.
What is it like going against the 2 starting edges in this team? Like it's
great, because they're the best of the best.
They were both in the top 10 of that last rankings I saw on Twitter, top defensive ends in the country. We had 2 of them.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
They got their accolades, and they're well deserved, because they're a couple of great players.
Well, speaking of accolades, number 1 on the list here, I wrote, you're obviously getting NFL attention. We saw a couple scouts out there today, which is, that's something you got to deal with. That's real. You kind of keep focus out there and not worry about, you got to be yourself, right? I mean, do I have to play like this now because they're watching, or do I have to show them this? I mean, it can creep in, I suppose, I mean, am I crazy for saying that it's just, you got to kind of just block it out and
it's just
practice.
At the end of the day, it's just outside noise, and we're here to practice and get better. So it's just focusing on what we're doing and focusing on my technique and help the young guys. Like, I'm not going to be a different person than I am just because somebody else is watching me play.
Right.
So, we saw at least one team here today. Did they come visit with you? Can they talk to you, or?
Nobody really talks to,
Okay.
You don't really get talked to. I'm pretty sure they just talk to all of our staff and
talk to everybody else but you.
Stay away from us.
Has the NFL been a goal for you since you put pads on, or?
It's been a dream since I was a little kid. I mean, I was more of a basketball guy when I was younger. I was so skinny, You
were a lot softer back then, right?
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, now that dream's kind of turned into a goal, and I'm just you can just see it, and you just gotta keep your head down and work hard every day and get your chance. That's all you can hope for.
Sounds like that's what you're doing. Everything we hear is just good, positive stuff. And your offensive line unit, you become the leader of the group, and that whole you and Liam Beecher, I suppose. I mean, Liam. I mean, he's getting a few looks too, from what I can tell too. I mean, more that you're a tackle, he's a guard. I mean, that's pretty good. That's what we've been noticing. Down south, the other schools have put number of players into the NFL, and we're like, we really should. Why wouldn't UND? And then I think just what I've seen is we just needed to get some kids in here with the body types. They're right, like yourself, the long body types, the passion, the desire, and now I think it's starting to show up.
Yeah,
So,
all the guys we have on our offensive line, we all just work really, really hard. And it's fun to go out and play with them every day. And you can see how much everybody cares and how much we talk to each other and how much we hang out outside of here too.
Yeah.
Building relationships.
So, this team kind of has that chemistry, don't they? And you've been part of many teams where sometimes it's like, maybe the talent isn't there, but if everyone buys in and you like each other while you're out on the field and in the locker room, good things can happen, right?
Yeah, we got to stay close and you got to get to know everybody, like just as much as the linebackers need to talk to the receivers and we need to go and like talk with like the DBs and the safeties and them. Like we got to know everybody. It just makes everybody that much closer and it makes practice that much more fun.
Comfortability.
When you can talk, when you can talk to some smack to everybody and everybody can get after it.
Well,
But you guys, I was just going to ask you about Coach Olson. I mean, he kind of leads that, doesn't he? By example, like he looks like he could still get out there and push some guys around.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of coaches them,
big man.
like he played pretty aggressive and.
Oh yeah, he always says he's gonna coach us hard, and that's because he wants it. He wants it for us just as much as we want it, and he's gonna continue to coach us hard. And you just gotta buy into that.
What has he helped you the most with, you think?
In my pass game, my pass game, I think my pass set and that, and my pad level, that's been an emphasis as well. But really, that pass game, he's helped me out so much in staying square and really, really teaching me how I should be set up in that and what to look for with my eyes.
Tank.
We better get him to
He needs to eat. Yeah. We've said that to the last two. Coach Freund was hungry. Coach Schmidt was hungry.
He did.
He's in here, but no, we better let him get going.
For joining us, and we can't wait to follow the whole team, but especially your journey in football as it progresses, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right,
thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We continue at UND Football Camp as we have our Toasted Frog guest of the week, cornerback Grant Noland, Kearney, Missouri. Well, before we get to Missouri, I've been meaning to ask you this question since last year. What was it like to play your first college football game as a true freshman on the road at Kansas State? Like that first play.
Yeah. And you didn't just play. You were starting. Correct? You were starting at corner against Kansas State.
Yeah, I was in awe at first. Like once I came out for warm-ups and saw those fans like storm in there, I was like, whoa, that's a lot of people. But once the whistle started blowing, I got a kickoff rep in before like I had to play defense. So that kind of just gets the nerves out of there. But yeah, it was something else for sure.
Because Kearney, Missouri, what type of area? Is it a big town? And like how many people do you play in front of in high school football games?
I mean, I'd say Kearney's a very like football town. So there's only around 10,000 people in Kearney. It's a little north of Kansas City area. So, it's a good football town and they fill out the stands for sure. So, but nothing compared to K-State at all.
Yeah. Probably like 5,000 probably is most you'd played in front of before that game.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, sure.
5,000,
yeah, that was because I remember when we were doing the pregame and Coach Schmidt, I think, told us that you were starting. And I'm like, he goes, well, he's the best we got. He's the best one. He won it. I'm like, true freshman won it. I'm like, all right. I go, you're playing Kansas State next week. He's like, yep. And he had no qualms about running you out there, the reason I'm bringing this up is because the confidence he had in you as an 18-year-old or whatever, you show up and you don't only been on campus for a month and a half, whatever it was. And he had no problem running him out there. And you actually played well too. I remember watching the game. There was no, they weren't attacking you. They weren't picking on you. There was nothing going on. I think you really showed a lot to the staff. You showed a lot to the fans like, hey, we got a steal here in this kid. I mean, is that when that game was done, what was your feeling?
It's like, well, obviously a little disappointed because we were like right there. We should have had the upset. But I think since that was Schmidt's first game, it was just like in the locker room, everyone was disappointed, but knew we had the team to do it. Like knew we had the team to keep going and make a run into the playoffs for sure.
It was a good way to start the season. Like,
yeah, even though it was a loss,
Yeah.
I think the locker room knew, like, yeah,
we beat them everywhere but the scoreboard, but it's not about, it is about the scoreboard, unfortunately. When you came to UND, was there talk of you playing right away, or was like, oh?
I mean, I think Coach Schmidt just always says, like, your spot's earned. So I just went out to fall camp, and I mean, there's a lot of help along the way with Coach Steps and older corners and stuff like that. Learning the playbook was hard, and just every day just got better and learned the playbook and ended up out there.
Is that your game, you think, is the mental side of it? You know, because I mean, I used to play DB back in the day too, and there's a intelligent side of this thing where before the play even starts, you can kind of win the rep in a way. You put yourself in a position to make a play.
Yeah, Coach Steps says always have a plan. Like, you got to have a plan when you're in press or off. Just pick up on a couple tendencies, whether 2's on, 1's off. Stuff like that might help, but at the end of the day, like, most time out there at corner, you're one-on-one basically, and you know, if they do have a play, you got to have a short-term memory and kind of flush it in next play.
All right, enough about last year, right? We put that behind you. What's different for you coming into camp this year?
Coming into camp this year, I'd say just more confident, like knowing the defense through a whole instead of just kind of what I do. I kind of know what the safeties are doing and linebackers are doing, where my help is a lot more, and when I don't have help. So stuff like that, I think, helps a lot with just knowing what to do, and it helps me play faster as well.
Do you feel like you're a leader more now? I mean, do you feel the other DBs maybe looking to you, the younger corners, that type of thing, saying, oh, as a returning starter?
Yeah, I mean, I think they might look to me a little bit just because I did play a little bit, but we also got some vets in there, like Ben Kamara's played a lot of ball. He knows a lot of stuff. Like, I still go to every guy, like, asking what they're seeing, what they're doing, just simple tips because they've played a lot of ball. Avery Scott, like, he's played a lot of ball here and knows everything. So I think as a group, everyone kind of just feeds off each other, like gives tips. And I'd say everyone in the corner room has a role in leadership in there.
What was the discussion when camp started in your room of, as a group, we need to do this to be better for week one?
As a group in the corner room, I'd say taking away post for sure was kind of struggled. Me personally, I struggled with that one last year. That's
the one everybody knows where you have issues with, right?
Yeah,
the
post.
Youngstown? Was that Youngstown?
Yeah,
they slipped one. Yeah, that's a skinny post. They put a quick guy.
Yeah,
they're gonna hit some. You know what they always say. You know, and I like that you're saying that because you're pinpointing. You want perfection, right?
Yes,
so you're pinpointing the ones where you got beat. The offense likes to make plays too. You know, so it's gonna happen. You know, but I like that you guys get. You know, not just, hey, we need to get tougher. We need to make more interceptions. You know, just broad statements don't do it. What are they? How do you do that? I like to hear that.
Yep. I'd say just the post and knowing where your help is, and then also getting havoc on the ball, whether we need to get our hands on the ball more, maybe taking shots on goal or getting interceptions, obviously.
That is kind of neat on a goal line play or short yardage. Like, you can be 10 yards off the ball, but you're the guy coming in to punch it out, right? Let the boys up front slow it down.
Yep, got to get turnovers. Turnovers.
Like, every play you can be doing something, right?
For sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, as a defense, as you moved into spring ball, I'm sure, you had the meetings first, and then now you're moving into the end of fall camp. What was the emphasis on defense? Like, you had one of the best defenses in the country last year, especially against the run. You did quite well. Third down, very well. Was there anything that points, like we talked about, that came up that said, we got to do better at this, or we're going to adjust this, and we didn't like this package, so we're going to do this a little more, or anything you can tell us at least?
Yeah, I'd say winning the turnover battle. Like, every day at practice, the offense versus defense, you know, there's a turnover battle. Like, obviously, if the defense gets turnover, that's a point. If offense doesn't turn over the ball, that's a point or half a point, something like that. And the offense has been kind of kicking our butt there. So I'd say this last half of fall camp, Coach Schmidt's kind of been trying to make an emphasis on that and making sure we get our hands on the ball there.
Yeah, it's because your guys can't hit the gray jerseys, right?
Yeah.
That make a big difference, right?
Yeah, for sure. Got to keep those guys healthy.
Time.
How do you stay grounded and not get too high before week one? You know, especially this time of year.
Well, Actually, I mean, our receivers humble me every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got a really deep receiving core, and they keep you very humble because you get high and then they'll make a play on you and bring you right back down to.
Do you have a spring ball or fall camp moment with one of our new guys that was like, whoa, I didn't realize he was that quick or fast? Or
I mean, well, I'll just say today, like, back shoulder, I don't know if you guys were out there at practice or not, but they threw a back shoulder dang, and I was like, thought I had it, and he just reached over my head and grabbed it. I mean, can't have that, but
he's pretty good at those
yeah,
kind of balls, though, isn't he?
dang. Yeah, he's a good, he can catch the ball pretty good.
Where's his game improved?
I'd say just everywhere, actually. Everywhere. I think he's physical. He's running routes good.
Confidence is probably there
Yes, sir.
with him.
What's your goal for this season? I don't know. As a corner, it's kind of hard to say, do you set goals or not? Or how do you view the upcoming season? Like, I want to be this or I want to do that.
I wouldn't say I really have an individual goal, but I'd say obviously a team goal, national championship for sure. Like, I think the whole locker room wants to make it there and win it for sure. And we know we got the team too.
Yeah, you got the taste. Well, you got the taste of it last year with the Tennessee Tech. And like I said, I was down at Tarleton on the sideline, and you guys didn't have anybody left at corner. That was part of the problem. Then they started to pick on you. At halftime, that was 13-7 game. I mean, there's a chance if you're healthy, if all you guys are playing, there's a chance we win that game.
Well, Lance was helping you guys out a lot
Lance,
in that first half.
Start of the second half, Lance goes out. And so you just kind of ran out of guys is what happened down there. So, yeah, I mean, I think that could you look back at that win at Tennessee Tech and say, hey, in the locker room afterwards, like, hey, geez, we just went on the road, and that's been hard for UND in the past to win on the road. I mean, is that the stepping stone, you think?
Yeah, I'd say winning on the road and obviously staying healthy. Like, we got to stay healthy. And if we can stay healthy, we know we can do it for sure.
And that win, too, was cool, too, because, boy, the locker room after South Dakota State, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in there, everyone thought ball was over.
For sure, yeah. There was some tears shed there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But you guys came back out and said, we're going to prove everyone right that we're here and go after it. So, boy, it's been a blast getting to know you. Kearney, Missouri, the Beaver Twins.
Yep.
They've been mentioned a lot in the last year. Were they good friends of yours in school, or?
Yeah, they were pretty close. I mean, they're just on the football team, and like we're all brothers at the end of the day. So, I mean, it's good to have them up here, someone from hometown, and good to have them here with me, and then reconnecting with them is always good.
And there's been more visits down there by our coaches. Looking at some guys down there.
We got some young talent down there for sure.
Turning Kearney into a hotbed for UND football, huh?
Don't sleep on Kearney.
Yeah. How are they going to be this year? Good?
They should be good. They won state last year. So, I mean, I think they got a lot of high hopes down there. So hopefully they can keep it going.
Good deal. Yeah. Well, between Omaha and that area, I mean, Omaha can't be far away.
Nope. It's like 2.5, 3.
Yeah. Because they've been moving that way, it seems like, a little bit, and trying to hit more of the high-end talent. And it's obviously with yourself, and now the Beaver Twins coming up here, and all the Omaha kids. We just got done with Trace Thaden, so I think that area, I mean, if they got the inroads going, so it's be good for the program.
And obviously the facilities help here.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a big piece of it. I think from all the FCS schools I've toured, North Dakota's got the nicest by far.
What was your interest out of college? From
South Dakota State, and that was Wyoming a little bit, and then just a bunch of D2s around Missouri area.
Northwest Missouri State?
Yeah. Central Missouri, all those, yeah.
Yeah, my senior year we lost. Yeah. That's the senior year at UND. We lost down there in the opening round of the playoffs. Overtime, 13-10. Nobody could do anything. It was just two teams beating the living hell out of each other. They went on to win it, I think.
Northwest has put a lot of championships together. Yeah,
they had good players. They were real. That was a good program. I had a lot of respect for them.
Thanks so much. Best of luck to you this year.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.